So a really hot topic in golf at the moment is looking at pressure tracers and how golfers apply force to the ground and how they create pressure into the ground. And I guess a major reason for that is now we can measure it really easily. And so we're really looking a lot at how people use the ground to generate force, generate speed. Obviously Clubhead Speed is becoming a bigger and bigger factor, and it's getting a lot of attention, and it's obviously linked quite a lot with the more elite players in the world, but just improving your golf overall. And so we've got a swing catalyst pressure plate here at Precision Athletica. That's one way to measure that pressure through the ground. It's great because it gives us really good data, really good information for us and for your coach, so that you can put some plans in place and some actions in place to based on the findings of the pressure trace. And we're going to do a few videos just to explain what pressure is and how we use it for performance and for injury prevention. We're here in the golf room at Precision Athletica, and I wanted to talk to you today about the swing catalyst plate we have here, and it measures pressure and the pressure that you put into the ground during movement. Now, pressure tracers and how golfers put pressure into the ground is getting a lot of attention lately, because how you put pressure into the ground determines often how you move and how quickly you move. So it has big implications for things like clubhead speed, swing technique, but also too for injury, and how people put pressure into the ground and how they move can give us a big indication of where they may break down and get hurt, or what might be causing their injury. Now, firstly, I'd just like to talk a little bit about pressure and what that means in terms of pressure tracers and pressure in terms of force. A lot of people think that when they think about shifting their pressures, that they think about shifting their weight and their mass. And it's not that at all. It's really how you push into the ground. And an easy way to explain it is, if I stand on one leg and if I push into the ground and I move my body to the weight, my mass is actually moving to the left, but my pressure is to the right because I'm pushing into the ground that way. And that's what the pressure plate we have here does. It measures how you put pressure into the ground, and that has a big impact, as I said, on the dynamics in your swing. It can also have a big impact on how your body moves, and which could lead to injury. And the good thing about talking about pressure and getting people to think about the pressure into the ground and training that is that it's a really good way to get some feedback. Okay, often when we talk to people about changing their movement patterns or activating muscles, it can be really hard for them to get a handle on what we're talking about and what we mean. But when we talk about pressure and how their feet are pushing into the ground, well, because they can feel the ground, that often helps them get a bit of an idea of what they're supposed to be doing, and can have a really positive impact on how they move, how they swing the golf club, and often too in resolving their injuries. Now, we're going to do another couple of videos after this, and in one of the videos we're going to talk about how we use the pressure plate and how we do the analysis with the pressure plate for performance. And then the other side of it will be how we use the pressure plate and how we use the analysis of that, looking at people's injuries and resolving an injury or changing a movement pattern so that people aren't getting hurt anymore. Okay, the video I want to do today, and this is following on from our first two videos looking at how we use our swing catalyst pressure plate, is looking at how we use it when we're looking at a golfer's performance. And usually, and preferably, when we're looking at performance, it's when we've got the coach involved as well. So either the coach has come out here to Precision and we're looking at it together while the golfer goes through their swing and the different tests, or I will send a video to the coach afterwards showing them what happened. So, you know, the coach is really an important part of this, and obviously the coach is driving what's happening in the technique. What we know about looking at pressure and pressure traces and how people's pressure trace is during their golf swing is that it has, there are correlations between what better players do and what their pressure trace looks like, and also people who swing faster. Okay, we know there's certain patterns for people who generate more clubhead speed, how they move their pressure, because that really gives us an idea of how efficient they are at generating force in their swing, but also too how the pressure trace impacts things like clubhead path for certain shot shapes. What we'll do as a starting point when we look at someone from a performance perspective is look at where they start in their address position. Okay, if they start with their pressure in the wrong place at address, we like to see it fairly evenly balanced, especially between the toes and the heels, but also right to left, maybe a little bit more to the left side for a right-handed golfer. We want to start in that good position, and then from there, as they swing, we can record what happens to the pressure trace, and then we can look at what they're doing in their swing and liaise with the coach about how we might put some changes in place to help improve that pressure trace, and whether that be to help with changing club path maybe, quite often it's to do with generating speed and how they want to generate more speed and how they can move more efficiently. How they move their pressure in the ground often has a massive impact on what happens with clubhead speed. So it can be a really important tool, especially used with the coach, to tie in what they're doing technically with their coach to help with improvement. But also too, I really like it because, again, it gives someone some feedback. You can feel the ground. So if you're talking about someone and how they push into the ground, it's often a lot easier to get a feel for that than maybe if they're just thinking about how their body's moving in space and they don't have a reference point to use. So it's a really nice way to give someone some good feedback that they can go away and practice, and then based on what's happened with their pressure trace, we can come up. We've got different exercises that help promote a better pattern of that pressure trace. And again, having them use their feet on the ground, they can get good feedback, and it just makes the whole process a lot easier. Okay, so following on from the first video we did, just explaining a little bit about what pressure is and how people put pressure into the ground. The first thing I wanted to do, or the first video I wanted to do and talk about today, is looking at how we use the swing catalyst pressure plate and looking at people's pressure into the ground when we're looking at someone who's injured. And quite often the first thing we do and how we start off with this is we just actually get someone to stand on the plate. Okay, so when they stand on the plate, we can see on our screen over there what the pressure is doing through the ground. And one of the first things I want to find out, if we've got someone, say for instance, who has low back pain, and they might have right low back pain, just as an example, we get them to stand on the plate and just stand there normally, and we'll look at what the pressure does. And what I often find is that people think they're standing with the pressure equal on each foot, but actually they're not. They're often standing on the right side, I find quite a lot, if they've got low back pain, and they've just lost their sort of perception of where neutral is. So straight away they're starting with more weight, more pressure on that right side, and that's going to put extra load on the right side of their back. And then we can look at how they move, and it might be in their golf swing that because they've lost that sense of where neutral is that they start in their setup position with a lot of pressure on the right side, and it stays there through the swing. And so now what they're doing is, instead of shifting the pressure across, they're staying on the right side, they're trying to rotate around, create speed, they've got all the pressure through the right side, and that puts a lot of load on their back. And we can do all the best physio treatment in the world and work on strengthening, but if we don't change that pattern of how they're moving, we often don't get the result that we're really after. And so getting someone on the plate gives us great feedback, gives them great feedback about what they're doing, and then we can design exercises based on that to help them get things moving how they should, get the pressure in the right place. That will often lead to better movement patterns up through the chain, less load on their back, and often it helps them get over their injury and get back to playing their golf. If you're interested in having a specific swing catalyst assessment, then just get in contact with us here at Precision Athletica, organise to book an assessment with me, whether it be for an injury problem that you're having with your golf swing, or whether you're looking at just improving your performance, and we can get you in, we can do the assessment on the swing catalyst. Again, preferably if you have a swing coach, it's really important that the coach is involved in this process because it's relating to your swing technique. So either the coach can come out if they're able to, or if not, I can put a video up that I can send them the link to, so they can actually see the video footage and they can get the information, and then we can go forward with implementing what needs to be done to help improve what's happening.